But first tonight, the sole survivor of a family in Spring that was gunned down was in court today for closing arguments. And the case against Ronald Haskell has now gone to the jury. Marcelino Benito is on verdict watch at the criminal courthouse tonight. Marcelino?
Well, and I can tell you the jury has been deliberating now for about 3 hours. We just learned moments ago that the jury has actually sent the judge back 4 questions. We're all watching and waiting for a verdict that is 5 years in the making.
Admitted mass murderer Ronald Haskell walked into the courtroom as his capital murder trial entered the final chapter. Lone survivor Cassidy stayed back in the courtroom to face him during closing arguments.
It's not a coincidence that he picked July 9th, 2014 at 5:30 p.m. in the evening to go to Katie and Stephen's house. It's 1 year to the date and time that he was served with this protective order, when the revenge in his heart began to grow.
Prosecutors described in detail Haskell's plan to get even after his ex-wife left him.
Who looks at their wife and says, if you leave me, not only am I going to kill you, but I'm going to find your family and I'm going to kill them and I'm going to make you watch.
Haskell did not look up the entire time. Jurors were shown the gun he used in the mass murder, while Cassidy and her family listened to painful details feet away from Haskell. Prosecutors showed jurors the FedEx disguise he wore to make his way into the Stay family home.
He absolutely knew what he was doing that day. All along the way, he took steps to hide, to disguise, and to plan this execution.
The defense spent more than an hour in their final attempt to convince the jury their client was insane at the time of the mass killing.
This was not a rational plan, it was a psychotic plan.
They reminded the jury of medical records that show Haskell was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. They say Haskell heard voices that told him if he killed his ex-wife's sister, she'd come back to him.
How, after a 7-year period of time, someone who what could have been a good man went from an Eagle Scout to a psychotic killer.
Prosecutors say Haskell's not mentally ill, but using it as a way to escape a possible death sentence. They closed their case with a simple message to the jury.
To look at him and say, no, you were not insane that day. The law is not on your side here. You executed Katie and Stephen, and we're going to hold you accountable.
Now, the jury does have 3 options. They can find Haskell guilty, not guilty, or not guilty by reason of insanity. I can tell you the jury is expected to deliberate until 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. If they don't reach a verdict by then, they'll be back first thing tomorrow morning. Len, back to you.
We will see what happens. Marcelino, thank you, at the courthouse tonight.